Hello and welcome back to the channel. I hope to earn your subscription today. We are going to be talking about a free patch management software called Action1. Action1 is an endpoint manager that allows you to update computers, run automations, and even remotely install software. They have a free version right now that will allow up to 200 endpoints. And the unique thing about this site is they don't limit the free version to a few features. All the features are free, and it even comes with built-in remote access. It only currently supports Windows and macOS, but Linux support seems to be on the horizon. If we look at the roadmap, you can see it right here. It should be available after the next couple releases. So first off, we're going to sign up. And if you go to action1.com/free edition, I'll have that down in the description. We can go put our corporate email in. And click create an account. So here we're going to select a region. I'm in North America. They do also have Europe and Australia in case you're interested. I already put my username in, which is my email, and we're going to put first name and last name, the company size, which for me is 1. We're going to create a password for it. And you can put a phone in there if you want to, you don't have to. And then just agree to the terms of service and create account. So it will ask for a verification code. It's going to send that to your email. We'll go ahead and remember this computer for 30 days and hit submit. Cool. And this is the page that you get when you first come in. You get the getting started with Action1. It wants you to download an agent. We're going to go ahead and download the Windows agent for the computer that I'm doing this on. And you'll see here Action1 agent, and then it says my organization. What we can actually do is come over here to organizations. And if you don't want it to be called my enterprise, you can just click add new. I'll just do HMPC YT. Cool. Now this is where you would add users if you were interested in having other people have access to your computers. But instead, we're going to go up to the dashboard and take a look at that screen again. We're going to click install agent. We're going to download the Windows MSI. And now you'll see that it has the correct organization in it. We'll click save. When that downloads, we'll go ahead and open it. So this is just the agent. It's going to allow your console to talk to this computer. And this is how you would do it for any computer that you're adding. Go ahead and click next and then accept the terms and click install. That is the one thing, is you're going to need admin privileges to do this. Don't be doing it on your work computer. We'll click finish. So now this should notice that the agent has been installed. Might take a few seconds.
1 hour later.
And now it's checking for missing updates on that computer. And do pay attention, your firewall must allow outbound TCP connection on port 22543. For most people at their home, they're not going to need to worry about this. If you're running a robust firewall, you probably know what port forwarding is. So go ahead and take care of that. Awesome. And now the agent has been installed. Your endpoint is now connected to the Action1 cloud. So we'll start managing. So this will take us to the endpoint button over here, but we want to go to vulnerabilities first. I just want to give you an idea of what this Action1 software is able to see inside of your network. No, it has no entries. Are we looking at the right one?
Hello, IT? Have you tried turning it off and on again?
Let's go to endpoints. Okay, so now that we have added an endpoint, we're going to add a group to add it to. For this one, I'm just going to call it Windows. You can put a description in if you want. It's not necessary though. And then we're just going to scroll down here and pick platform. And we'll just select Windows. You can see that there's a Mac platform in there as well. This just makes it so you can add software to computers and push updates to a certain type of computer. You can also turn on notifications for when the endpoints turn off or when they come back online. If you have your computers go to sleep during the daytime, this can get kind of annoying. So I usually leave this off and then only turn it on per computer if I'm worried about it going offline. You can also exclude endpoints by adding another criteria down here. Since it's the only PC in there, we're not going to worry about it. We're just going to go to the top right corner and click create. Okay, so now that group exists, but you can see here, there's the new endpoints group and the Windows group. Oh, okay, so I guess it belongs in both groups. I would come over here and click move to, and then tell it to move to the Windows group. That way it's not in the new endpoints group anymore. Okay, so now we can see it here in the Windows group. Next thing we probably want to do is create an update action. You can see here that it's missing updates. And actually, if you click into the computer here, you can come to missing updates and see the list of what it's missing. You can also peek into each of the computers and see what's installed on it. You can see here there's not a whole lot of stuff installed. You can also see automation history, but we're not done setting that up yet. So we're going to come down to automations. We're going to do a new automation and we're going to click deploy updates. So we want to deploy all updates. You can choose matching filters. Like if you only want to do Defender updates so that your Defender libraries are up to date, but you don't want to do all Microsoft updates, that's where you would do this. You can delay it for a certain amount of days. If you're one of those people that look into Microsoft updates and you see, for example, our NVR at work, which is our camera server, we've had a few Windows updates that have bricked the computer. So we actually delay ours for 7 days and we test it on all of our other computers before applying the patch to our NVR. Down here, you can have reboot options. I choose to automatically reboot if required. You can turn that off if you don't want your computers rebooting without you being there. You can also send a message to the user. I usually just change the timeout to 5 minutes, which is basically saying if someone's not sitting at the computer actively using it, go ahead and restart. And then I would recommend deactivating updates in the Windows settings so that Action1 is the one that's controlling your updates and Windows can't just automatically apply updates. And click next step. And we're going to add endpoints. So this is where adding a group becomes handy. If you don't want to have to create 500 rules for 500 different endpoints, all you've got to do is click the drop down here and click on Windows, and anything that you add to that group will get updated. So we'll click add. We'll go to the next step, and now the schedule. So there's a thing called Patch Tuesdays. So I'm going to name this Deploy Updates Patch Tuesdays, because I don't necessarily want this running every single day, but we're going to run it monthly on the, no, we want this drop down, the second Wednesday of every month. So Patch Tuesday is the second Tuesday of every month. I usually wait until Wednesday because then the servers for Microsoft aren't bogged down by everyone trying to download the updates at the same time. And I just set this for 2 o'clock in the morning, except for why I didn't accept, there we go. 2 o'clock in the morning, so no one's up and trying to use the computer when they're getting their updates. And then it has an automation completion deadline. If the computer's offline when this is sent out, it'll wait up to 7 days to apply the update before it stops trying. We'll go ahead and click finish. I can go ahead and show you the deploy updates that I would want to do for like Microsoft Defender patches. So we'll choose matching filters, add a filter. We'll click update name, and then it gives you an example here. So it's star defender star or asterisk, whichever you prefer. And you have to spell it right or it won't be able to find it. So what the asterisks do are, they say anything before and anything after Defender can be whatever, but it has to include the word Defender. We're not going to worry about approval. We're going to just go ahead and patch them the second that they come in. We'll look at the reboot options. These usually don't need reboots. We're going to click do not reboot automatically. We'll just leave this one checked like we did in the other one. And then we'll come to endpoints and we'll choose Windows and add that. And then we'll go to the next step. This is where you're probably going to want to run it more often. And we're going to say Defender, deploy updates Defender. So I am running mine every hour. You don't necessarily have to do that, but I would recommend running it more than once a day because the Defender updates come out pretty frequently. And then obviously it caps out the completion deadline, because if it doesn't run during the first hour, then it would run during the next run. And we'll click finish. So these two rules should keep your Microsoft Windows devices updated up to the hour, which is great. The next thing that we're going to do is run the Patch Tuesdays one. And actually, I wanted to back up here. So we're going to show that this works. We're going to click Actions here and Run Now. Same as configured in the automation, which just means the group that you chose to be automated is going to run, or you can specify different endpoints or groups if you're wanting to run this rule for something that's not in that group that you set up. We'll go ahead and click Run. And it'll start. It'll say waiting for the endpoint to run the automation. Obviously, we're on the endpoint that it's running on, so it shouldn't take super long. And of course, it's starting the action. That's great. I can't talk today. Script completed successfully. So we'll go to the dashboard, and the dashboard isn't working. So this is something that I ran into before. They actually make you verify that you are who you are, because this allows automation and pushing software and remoting into remote computers potentially. They don't want you to sign up and be a bad actor and try to hack other people's computers and put this software on it. So you will have to do either an email chain or a phone call. I verified myself through LinkedIn. They have an app that you can upload your driver's license to and some other stuff. If you don't feel like doing all of that, you can just speak to someone. They'll set up a meeting with you. You'll get an email for it. But if we come down here to the Windows endpoints, we can see this PC, and this is updating right now. If we click update again, it should go to where it's not missing any updates. Oh, and it's missing the Defender antivirus one. Okay. So this is another way to deploy updates. You can come down here to each update and you can either check all of them and click deploy updates, or you can click an action and click deploy update. You can add extra updates to this if you feel like, but it didn't show any other ones were necessary. We're not going to reboot automatically, and we're going to deactivate Windows settings again. This shows you the endpoint that you selected. We'll click next, and you want to run it right now. This is the automation name it's going to give you. They do have a audit trail that you can follow to see who pushed updates and who logged into what computer. That's what this would apply to. So you would see this in that list. We can, if we miss the schedule, it'll retry for the next 24 hours. You can set it for that if you want, but we'll click finish. And now it's running that update. All right, so we have a success, and it says no updates are applicable. So we're going to go back to our endpoints. We're going to refresh this page. And I don't know why this is not refreshing.
Patience. Patience, my love.
Oh, there we go. It just took a second. I'm running this on a virtual machine, so it may just be that this virtual machine's being slow. This is usually very quick when I run it from my other computer. All right, so the next cool thing that we can do from this is install software. So they do have some built-in software packages. And we'll come over here to the software repository. You can kind of scroll through and see what they have. I mean, it's not a super robust list, but they do have a lot of the common pieces of software. So if we go back to our endpoint, we click the actions button, we can say we want to deploy software, and we can see on here there is no Chrome or Firefox. So we'll install one of those. Let's look for Firefox. I actually like that better than Chrome. And it's searching. All right, so you have many versions of Firefox that you can install. I would recommend doing the newest one. This is an Adobe Flash plugin. It's uninstall only because Adobe Flash is actually end of life. But we're going to click this 137.0.2. You can check the reboot options. There's no point to reboot automatically for installing a browser, so you don't have to do that. We'll click next. You can see the endpoint again. We'll click next step. And you can name this whatever you want. We're just deploying it to the one computer, so I'm not going to worry about it. We'll do the run once and run it now. And you can change this to whatever you want. We'll click finish. And now it's running. We can actually minimize the screen and wait to see the icon appear over here. Okay, and we can see that it says it successfully completed the action. Let's go over here and see if Firefox is installed. And yes, it is. And there we go. That's how easy it is to push software using this Action1. So the last thing that I'm going to show you is remote desktop. The problem with doing that is I'm running it from the computer that it's going to be remoting into. So it may freak out a little bit. Let's see what happens. Account's not verified. Okay, so we're actually going to remove. All right, and because you have to verify in order to do remote desktop, I have one that's been open for a while. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what that looks like. You just come over here to the endpoints, choose the endpoint group you want to be in. And we've got only the one endpoint in there. We'll go ahead and click remote desktop. And it just opens up in another tab. It says connecting to remote computer. The connection will automatically be accepted in 15 seconds unless configured differently. I changed it to 1 second. It still takes a little bit of time to get there, but now you can see we have access to our computer. This isn't a super robust remote desktop. The only real options that you have outside of being able to click into things and, you know, make changes manually is the Control-Alt-Delete button. That does come in handy for remote desktop, but it seems like on the roadmap they're going to be adding more features for the remote desktop. But for most users, this is all you're going to need. And there is so much more you can do with this. You can automate scripts and push all kinds of different things to these computers. If you want to see a follow-up video, just leave a comment down in the comments letting me know. Give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for stopping in.